There's not much chemical industry left in the UK. No, it's finished. Chemical industry in the UK is pretty much finished, really, unfortunately. I don't think the government ever really recognised the importance of that. It's an enormous industry worldwide. But I mean, if you look at petrochemicals in Europe, it's about the same size as automotive. It's a really big industry, and similarly in America. I mean, in Europe, I think trillion euro industry, chemicals and petrochemicals. Right. It's about the same size as the car industry, but there's very little left in the UK now. It's all, I mean, if you look at the UK, if you go back 25 years, 30 years ago, manufacturing in the UK was about the same level as Germany, about 25% of GDP. Germany's still 22 or 23% because it's got a government which has been focused on maintaining a healthy manufacturing base in Germany. But in the UK now, we're maybe 8% of GDP from 25% 30 years ago. So manufacturing is one of the reasons you had these powerhouse of the North, and those types of initiatives, because the North is a manufacturing base, but it's pretty much all gone, and I think it's probably too late now. Could
Labour not bring it back? How do you think a Labour government would change?
Again, it's not a switch, really. You have to have a long term.
Do you think they have a plan?
I don't know. Not that I'm aware of for bringing back. I mean, places like America are in a great place for manufacturing because they've got cheap energy, they've got no carbon taxes, they've got a government which is very interested in it, they've got social costs which are very manageable. But then you look at Europe. I mean, Europe's a mess for petrochemicals today. Everybody's leaving petrochemicals in Europe, which is I've never seen in my working life before. But if you look at, I mean, I'm talking mainland Europe, but I mean, sort of, it applies to the UK as well, really, is energy costs 5 times America. Gas is 5 times the cost of America. Electricity is 5 times the price of America. I mean, it's not 5% or 10% or 50% more, it's 500% more. So anything where, any sort of activity which involves using energy in some form or another is disadvantaged in Europe compared to America or the Middle East, obviously. And then on top of that, you've got a carbon tax. So if you emit anything which has got carbon in it, you pay a carbon tax. You don't pay a carbon tax in America. And then on top of that, you've got social costs. You've got
But do you think that's changing? I mean, we had European elections.
Is it changing?
Yeah. Will policies in Europe change because of the European elections? There seems to have been a vote.
Well, I think they're listening because we met Ursula von der Leyen and Alexander De Croo 3 or 4 months ago, and we had quite a long chat about the sort of state of industry in Europe. So I think they're listening, and they were quite sympathetic with the arguments, but I haven't seen any changes. So I mean, energy is really important for an economy at the end of the day. I mean, obviously labour costs and energy costs. But
do you think you could have built your empire, in the current environment in the UK and Europe? Were you starting now?
That's a good question, actually. I think it'd be quite tough in Europe now. I mean, if you look at Ineos today, the majority of our profits come from the United States, whereas if you take Ineos 20 years ago, the majority of our profits came from Europe. And it's slowly all moved across the United States because the United States is a much more competitive environment for chemicals and petrochemicals. And immense amounts of investment and new build in the American marketplace and in China and in the Middle East. And Europe has been stagnant probably for 25 years.